The Wendy's is settling in my stomach.
Oh, great.
You make it sound so pleasant.
Oh man, yeah, it is. Oh man.
Alright, we're here. It's episode 3 of the Perfectly Sane Show. I am here with Tony Odette
How y'all doing?
and Jeff Derrickson.
What's up?
We're missing our little Persian friend. He felt that watching college football is a little more important than this, so you all know where you stand with him now.
Yeah.
You rate right behind Trojans.
Wait, now, isn't USC banned from, they can't win anything this year, right?
Right. So he's watching a game that doesn't even matter.
It's basically an exhibition game.
Right.
That's nice. I feel even better now.
And they're playing in Hawaii, so he's going to be up till like 3 a.m.
Well, that'll be later than he stayed up last night, which was like 10.
So, anyway, well, he's not here, so he doesn't get a say in anything. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, though. Jeff's been playing the big game release of the week. So, Jeff, why don't you kick us off with what you've been up to?
Yeah. Metroid. Other M for the Wii. First time I turned on my Wii since May. I don't know. What do you think of it?
It's a Metroid game. Like a real Metroid game.
So you think it feels like Metroid, right?
Yeah, it feels like a 2D Metroid at that, too. Like, even though it's in 3D, like, it feels like a 2D Metroid.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of the combat so far?
I think it's like everyone said that's like the strongest point to it, and it's a little clunky. But once you get into the rhythm of it and you figure it out, it's a fun like kind of active combat system. I like how you have to sometimes charge up and it's throwing a little bit of motion control in there. I know you don't like switching the first person, and a lot of people complained about that, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of times when I switch in the first person, it seems like somehow I get just enough time to get the missile off. So
maybe I'm taking way too long to aim, or I just can't get my bearings right. It's like, I don't know. I just always seem like I feel really vulnerable when I go into like missile mode. So because you can't move. So
Watching videos of that, it looks really awkward. Like it seems like such a break from the other gameplay. Do you find the transition hard?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it fucks you up. But like, there's a lot of times like I'll go to point at the screen, and because you have to. That's the only way you could use missiles and attack like the bosses and shit. A lot of times when I go to point at the screen, it points me right away at the spot I'm supposed to be pointing at. So it's just point at the screen and hit the missile. So I don't know. Works sometimes.
Yeah, for me, I don't. Maybe I seriously think I'm just terrible at the game, but if everything is based on line of sight, so it's very much a 2D Metroid game in 3D. Like if Samus can see it, she can shoot it. Like it's pretty much auto fire. Like basically, like if you're playing Super Metroid, if the enemy gets in your way in front of you and you shoot it, you will get a hit with it. But if it's behind you, like you're not going to hit it unless you turn around. So sometimes when I'm like shooting at things, I'll be facing one way, but then I need to go quickly into missile mode, but I'm looking the wrong way. So it's like, then it just feels really slow to like turn her around. Where if I probably just took like the extra second to actually turn her around first, like it probably would work better. But
yeah, you know what else helps? I find that's another problem. Sometimes because you're using the D-pad, right?
Yeah.
And when you switch into first-person mode, it's gonna, most time face the way you were facing, and sometimes it's hard to situate her, like which way you want her to face. But what I found helps a lot is jumping around a lot, instead of trying to turn, just jump it, like, and press the direction you want to face, and jump and charge your beam at all times.
Yeah, I found out once I got that diffusion beam, like, you pretty much want to have that charged at all times, like,
because you'll take out a whole swarm of enemies with one shot.
It's a really pretty game though. It looks good.
It looks HD sometimes, like when you go into the save stations and it like zooms in and circles around her, like it looks really fucking good to me.
The cutscenes look good. I mean, there are times when it looks like a Wii game, but at other times, like, I could see playing this on the 360 or PS3.
But this is a game that I was really, I don't know about you, Chris, but I was really like apprehensive about it. Like I was not sure whether I'd like it at all, but I'm going to be a total defender of this game till the end of the time. I love it so far.
Yeah, I was a little worried about it too. I'm not a Team Ninja fan. Like,
no, not at all.
Not a fan of Ninja Gaiden or whatever, however the fuck you pronounce that game. Not a fan of like the DOA series, so I was kind of worried about like how they were gonna to work with this, and they did it right. It feels like a Metroid game, and I wasn't a fan of the Prime games, and this feels like Super Metroid, but like updated.
Like for me, like the first hour or so, I was still like, I don't know. I think they kind of screwed this up. But like the more I got into it, the more I find myself like just enjoying it, on all levels. But I still like Metroid Prime 1 more.
What do you think of the narrative?
It's kind of bad, but like honestly, like I don't usually pay attention to the stories in games, and this is one of the few times I am paying attention. And one of the things I really like about it is every time you load up the game, like as it's loading, it'll give you like a little text readout telling you the last thing that happened in the story, so you can remember. I mean, that's very helpful for me.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got to this base and you helped these guys do this, and now you are moving through to turn on the electricity, and like it just kind of gets your mind right back into where you were when you first let off. So
yeah, it's a bad story, but I have to give it points for being one of the few stories in the game I'm actually following. So,
and I mean, for a game for a company that doesn't do story, like Nintendo in particular, their games just don't have stories. Like, it's an okay first attempt at something like this.
And you never know; it could have some good twists and turns. I'm not sure how far you are yet, but you do find out what's going on the base that you're at or the ship that you're on.
Yeah, I have. The last like real thing I learned was basically that cutscene at the beginning where you learn about like her whole thumbs down shit, and
yeah, that's really
just
bad.
Like, this is terrible, but it's like, so yeah, I've just been running through and playing a lot. There hasn't been a whole lot of story since then, but looks like I might be coming up on a point where something's going to happen. I'm going to like rendezvous with the rest of the team right now.
Yeah, and then you'll find out what that ship you're on, like what was going on there.
Cool. Yes, Tony, you gonna give it a try?
I may throw it in a little while. There's a lot of games coming up, so it's not at the forefront, but I'll definitely play it at some point.
Yeah, I think they were smart to release it now, because if they release this in a couple weeks, once the big games for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 start coming out, I think this might have gotten swept under the rug.
Well, I think it still will get like sucked under the rug, but or swept under the rug. But they should have released it up against NCAA like July, I think.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to come out like late. It was like mid-June, late June, like July or so. Yeah, because I remember I pre-ordered it back in March, and then it got canceled. I think it might have done a little bit better than though when that dead period was. I think you're right, Jeff.
Either way, though, it's still Metroid, and you're talking about the Wii, where like good software doesn't really sell on it anymore. So it's in a lose-lose situation no matter what. But I appreciate the effort they put into it.
Yeah, unless you're Mario or Zelda.
Yeah.
Even Galaxy 2 didn't sell, amazingly well. It certainly didn't come anywhere close to a New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
No, but it did beat Galaxy 1. So
that's something. So, what else you've been playing, Jeff?
I tried out the demo. I didn't buy it of Dead Rising Case Zero, and it just really just whet my appetite for Dead Rising 2. I want that game now.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty cool.
I heard it's worth $5. I heard you have to play through it like about 3 times to beat the final boss, so you'll get a decent amount of hours out of it.
And your stats carry over to the full retail game, right?
Yeah, so I might get it actually. But
doesn't it like level you up and that kind of thing? Like you can start the actual game at like level 5 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you can't, like, there is a level cap, I think, on Case Zero, so you can't like have your guy totally beat up.
Yeah, I think 5 might be as high as you can go.
You play through the game like 30 or 40 times.
Your guy's already at level 50.
Why is this game so easy? I don't understand.
So where does Case Zero take place at, Jeff? Did they give you any indication of that, or?
I think it's like a town, like a small town called Mill Creek or something, and like there is a cutscene like near the beginning that you see a sign that says Las Vegas, 46 miles or something away, which is weird too because the actual game coming out doesn't technically take place in Vegas, but I don't know.
So what do you think of the like the item combination thing? And did you do any of that, the crafting?
It's cool. I like it, and like you do get more experience when you're using those combo items. So that's gonna be fun. I don't think that's like enough to replace the camera, but whatever. I'll deal with it.
Anything else going on?
I sat and watched 7 episodes of Sons of Anarchy in a row the other day.
That's how's that? I mean, I don't.
It's a very, very good show. It's done by one of the guys who was a writer and he was a character on the Shield, and it feels very Shieldian.
Cool.
Shieldish.
Yeah.
So you would recommend? Maybe I'll add that on my queue.
You should finish the Shield, but yeah,
I still got 5 seasons of that, so.
I would highly recommend Sons of Anarchy. It wasn't like subject matter that I was into, but done well, it's very, very good.
Cool. All right, Tony, what's up with you?
This weekend I bit the bullet and sold my Xbox 360. So I put in a pre-order last week for the Halo Reach limited edition console.
Right.
So I sold off the 360 to help pay for it. So I've moved to gaming on other systems, which saddens me.
Yeah, I think I would be pretty sad if my Xbox went away.
Yeah, it's funny. Like all these demos are coming out. Like I saw the demo for Vanquish hit today, and I was like, shit, I can't play it. But I've been playing the Wii a little bit. I just started getting into New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan. Like
All right. So what's your issue with it?
I feel like I've played it before. It feels no different to me than Mario 3 or Super Mario World felt. Like, I mean, the game looks great. There's a couple new wrinkles, but nothing earth-shatteringly different. The sameness just kills me. Like, I've played this game before. Like, when I played through Galaxy 2, I didn't feel like that at all. I'm like, this is brand new. This is an amazing experience. Look what it does with the Wii hardware. It's amazing. And this just doesn't seem to do that at all.
Well, I mean, Super Mario World and Super Mario 3, that's pretty good company, I'd say.
Well, right, but you're just basically copying what you did there. It's not. There's nothing forward about that experience. You know, there's nothing earth-shattering to me. It's just the same thing over again.
Yeah, but think about how long it's been since you've gotten that on a home console. Like, and I think it's way, way better than the DS one. So.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's much better than the DS one. Have you played it with anybody else, Tony?
I haven't yet. No.
You should try maybe play it with your wife or something. Playing it with another person completely changes the experience of that game.
I would say in a bad way, almost.
It's
frustrating.
But I just play. I would just torture my wife. She's not good at it to begin with, and then like I would purposely stomp on her head and make her drop into like a bottomless pit. For me, that was enjoyable.
Yeah, I played Lego Indiana Jones with my wife. Platformers aren't really her thing, so it would be a lot of her dying and me watching her float around the screen in a little bubble.
All right, that's a shame you're not really into it.
Well, it's not a bad game. I'm not like hating playing it. It's just not doing anything for me.
Wait till you get to the final level, though. It has a pretty awesome finale.
Yeah, the end confrontation with Bowser is sweet.
I will say there was one level where you spend most of the time going down a mountainside on your stomach in the penguin suit.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. But of course, it took me 3 worlds to get to that level. So, like, I was kind of expecting that kind of thing to happen over and over and over again, and that's just like happens to be the first time I've encountered something where I'm like, oh, never done that before.
Keep giving it a go. See if you like it a little bit more.
Well, at this point, I don't have a choice. So.
All right, it's like you're kind of stuck playing it right now. Anything else outside of that, or?
Let's see. I saw The Green Zone the other day.
And?
It was all right. I'm not.
Am I the only fan of that movie? What the fuck?
I don't know that the story makes sense. It seems a little far-fetched to me. Like the fact that a soldier gets to run around a military zone doing whatever the hell he wants. Like they're not even keeping track of what he's doing. Just seems kind of odd. And the whole when he gets into the confrontation with the special forces guy and they beat each other up, like that kind of thing wouldn't happen. Or there'd be some sort of like repercussion. There'd be some sort of court martial or something.
Did you buy? Go ahead.
It just doesn't make sense. Like some of the basic plot points don't make logical sense.
Did you buy like its central conceit about the Iraq War, like why it was waged and whatnot?
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I think there's a fair point to be made there. I just wish there was a better movie to make the point.
Well, I guess I'm alone on this one.
Some of the stuff, like the shaky cam and when they're shooting the underground scenes and it's really hard to see what's going on. I just wasn't a huge fan of the way the movie was shot.
Did you like the Bourne movies?
I did. Which is funny. Same director, same lead, but...
Yeah, I would have thought that it would have been shot the same. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so I would have thought it would have been stylistically the same.
It seems like it is to me. I mean, I haven't seen the Bourne movies, but I've seen clips of them, and it seems very similar. Very cool, like car and foot chases in it. I thought, anyways.
I've been playing Metroid. We already talked about that. I also started playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. The less said about that, the better.
Yeah.
Did you pick up a copy for $5?
No, it was on my GameFly queue, and it came in. It's not good.
I would have sent that shit back.
Yeah, I played it. I played like the first level of it, and like it doesn't look like it's a very long game. So I'm hoping I can maybe work my way through it, but it's not particularly good. I enjoyed the first one much better, much more than this one. Just not. I mean, it looks better, but it plays like shit. So.
What's worse?
The camera is like they've zoomed down. Like, did you play the first one?
No.
Okay, the first one was like overhead, kind of like Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance type game.
All right.
And yeah, you had control of like all these superheroes, but now they've kind of moved it down. It's almost like an over-the-shoulder type, but it's not quite that. So it's like a weird perspective you're in, and the camera keeps shifting. So it's more like they're trying to, oh look, you're in this 3D environment, but you never really.
They're trying to show off their technology and screwing up the gameplay with it.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. And like, I mean, if you were to look at like still frames of that, it probably looks awesome, but in motion it doesn't work.
So is it like the same gameplay but with like a different camera angle?
Yeah, the gameplay seems a little more streamlined. Like I don't seem like I have as many options, but then again, I only played through like the opening mission, so I mean the way the original one worked, it was kind of like an RPG, where like you would upgrade your character along the way, and right now I'm not seeing the same depth there. It's just not holding my interest as much. it's supposed to be set on the Civil War storyline from the comics, which
Right.
basically had there were like two factions. It's this whole political thing where they wanted to register all the superheroes, and that was the big selling point of this game. Is like basically it was the game based for Civil War, and I've been playing it for an hour, and there's nothing of that story in here at all yet. It's like, okay, when's this kick into gear? Because right now this is boring, and it's stingy on the achievements too.
Oh no, that makes it even worse.
It's
Give
like
up now.
Yeah, send it back.
It's like I haven't gotten anything yet. I've been playing it an hour, so.
No achievements.
Yeah, from that nothing from that game yet.
Wow, that's awful.
And I went and saw The Last Exorcism today.
Oh,
That was good. It was really good.
I've heard it was good. I heard it had a really good like central character.
Yeah, he's really charismatic. He played like I don't know who the guy is that plays him. I mean, none of these actors are, they're not big name actors at all. It's a really low budget movie. I think it was shot for under $2 million. Yeah, this main character, he's this preacher guy. He's really charismatic. The basic premise of it is, and you don't get this from the trailer, is that he's out to he's documenting the fact that these exorcisms he performs are a sham. I mean, he doesn't quite say he's a fraud, although the person filming it does, but he goes along to say like he's offering a service, and these people they want somebody to come in and say, oh yes, you're possessed by a demon, and then for him to heal them. Like, it just makes them feel better.
Which is like he's kind of like a huckster, but it seems like that makes him more sympathetic. That he feels like he's doing something good for them,
Right. But then I guess he's had a change of heart. Not about he doesn't feel that he ever did anything wrong by these people. He feels he actually kind of helped them, but he wants to get out of it because he started reading articles about how other exorcists, a kid got killed, the exorcist put a bag over the kid's head and strangled him to death, and he's in his head he's I don't believe any of this shit, so it's not real, and I don't want to hurt anybody, so I'm getting out and I want to expose it for the sham it is. But then shit starts to go south, in this one that he's in, and it gets really creepy, really fast.
See, that sounds so much deeper than the trailer sells it as,
Yeah, the trailer basically just sells it as a straight up horror film, and it really doesn't hit the horror aspect of it until the last, maybe the last half of the film, and it's only 86 minutes long. So there's this really big build up, and then it shifts into high gear. It's wow, there's some fucked up shit going on, and a lot of people have been complaining about the ending. I didn't really have a problem with it. It ties into some commentary that is stated beforehand, which so it makes sense. It's a little goofy, but for the way this type of film is, it's kind of like a Blair Witch type film or Paranormal Activity type film where this is found footage.
Yeah.
So the ending kind of works for what that is. I really liked it though. So if you get a chance to see it, it's probably be a good thing. It's probably not something you need to go see in the theaters though. That might actually work better just watching it in your living room. So I saw it. There were 5 people in the theater, and
Really?
yeah. Well, I saw mid-afternoon on a Thursday, so. But the other 4 people that were in there were talking through it the whole time. It's just shut the fuck up.
Oh, I can't stand that, man.
It's and I mean, when I went to go see Piranha, that's a different type of film. Yes, they're both horror films, and I'm doing air quotes, not that anybody can see that, but that's a different type of horror film. It's a different type of experience. This is more of a documentary type feel to it. That's kind of what they're pushing it off as. Is oh, it's this found footage. It's a documentary. Whereas Piranha is more it's an event type film where it's fun when you're sitting with your buddies and you're watching people get ripped apart in half and there's boobs on the screen, and that's a completely different type of film. So I kind of wanted to just be like, shut the fuck up, but I was by myself, and saying shut the fuck up to like 4 people is like, it's like, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up myself. And although when shit started to go crazy, they shut up. Like once the film kicked into gear, like it was 2 guys and 2 girls. They silenced from them up until the last shot. Like, I don't know if like the girls were back there like holding on to them or not, but
did any of them sit directly next to you?
No, they sat. It was in one of the bigger screens at the theater I go to, and I was like 7 or 8 rows up in the middle, and they went all the way to the top. So like maybe another 5 or 6 rows up.
Have you ever had someone do that to you though in an
Yeah.
empty theater? It's usually like a fat child molester looking guy.
Yep.
He's lonely, Jeff.
I don't give a shit. I'm lonely too.
He
Get
wants
away
you to hold his hand.
I get up and move. Like, I don't say anything. I just get up and move when people do that. It's like that's the most like socially fucking retarded thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna, like, sit next to someone in an empty theater.
That happened to me, and I went to go see The Sorcerer's Apprentice the day it came out. And I was sitting up in like maybe 3 or 4 rows up in the theater, and this like fat dude comes in and sits down next to me. So I like got up and moved like up a few more rows. And then this lady and her 2 kids comes in and like sits down. It's like, really, we have a whole fucking empty theater. Why do you keep sitting next to me?
Yeah, I hate that. That's a pet peeve, man.
It's like, I mean, you could have a whole row to yourself. You don't need.
Guys, when you go alone, you need to look more disgusting. Like you need to do something to make yourself less attractive. That's what it is.
It's really creepy when somebody wants to sit in that. It's like, I don't know, get away from me. Like, yeah, I'm 32 and you're creeping me out, kind of like Chester the child molester. So stay over there. Yeah, that's about it though. I'm gonna do a review of the Last Exorcism for Vagary, so that'll be up at some point in the near future. Yeah, so you guys want to move on to some news?
Let's do it.
Sir.
All right. So what do we got? I did not make up this news list.
We got an Xbox Live price hike.
Yes. You want to go into some detail on that? Tony?
Microsoft announced earlier this week that they are raising the rate on Xbox Live for the first time ever, from $50 to $60. So the service has been out 8 years, and they're finally changing the price. And of course, there's been lots of fanboyish piling on and uproar about how terrible this is and how it's an affront to all these cheap-ass people.
Jeff, what do you think of the price hike? Because
Believe me, I'm not like a fan of it or anything,
Right.
but $50 is already like the difference between 50 and 60. I know that's like a significant percentage, but it just doesn't feel like it to me.
yeah, like I
I'm
said
not
on
gonna cancel
Twitter,
it.
I said on Twitter this week, I spend more on coffee in a week than I do on what this price increase is. So
Well, if you think about it, when the service first came out 8 years ago, with the rate of inflation, the price increase from 8 years ago is less. So the service actually still costs less at $60 than it cost when it first came out at $50.
I guess a lot of people just don't look at it that way. Although the stupidest argument I've heard is this is going to push people to the PS3. If you don't already own a PS3, you're not going to not pay your $60 and go spend $300 on a new system. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Xbox Live really is a great service, man. It's worth the money.
Yeah, for me, the cross-game chat, the fact that there is voice chat, everyone that buys a 360 has the ability to talk over the internet. Like, if you get Xbox Live Gold, that is, like, that's a big selling point for me. Because not everybody that has a PS3 has a headset.
I don't.
Right.
Or, for that matter, knows how to use it. Like, I have 2 headsets, and I can't get them to fucking work.
That all I hear is horror stories about PS3 headsets. I haven't bought one.
Mine actually came in like 2 games that I bought, so like I never actually paid for them. But one is the official Sony one, and I can't get it to work.
Is it the Bluetooth one
Yeah.
that lets them hear everything that's going on in the room with you?
Oh, I mean, I haven't even been able to get it to work, so I don't know if that's what happens or not. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna like celebrate a $10 price increase, but as somebody who works like in finance for a living, I completely understand it. And if they're going to take that money that we're giving, that extra $10, and reinvest it into the service and get us more better, like basically provide us with a better service, I'm all for that.
That was what Michael Packer was predicting, that they would take that money and just reinvest it, and that there might eventually be a platinum service that would provide even more odd things. And
Well,
that
they're
would be
talking
like
about
$100.
they're talking about like including cable and shit on it, like TV
Right.
programming.
Well, ESPN is coming in this fall.
Yeah, I don't care about that, but
If the ESPN though, you need to have
You need to have cable to actually use it. Like there
Right.
needs to be ESPN on your local cable. I don't know that you necessarily have to have a cable service,
okay.
but there has to be ESPN in your local cable network.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't quite sure how that worked, and I think that's what I had heard is it has to be on your ISP. Your provider has to have cable, like has to have a ESPN with it, but I don't know. It's not out yet, so I guess we'll figure that out.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Who knows what it'll actually be when it hits, but
But this platinum service that Packer was talking about, if they did something along the lines of kind of what PlayStation Plus is for that extra $40 a month, like where you get like free game downloads, and
right.
I probably would jump on that.
I think I would be much more likely to get a service like that on Xbox than I would on PlayStation.
Right.
I would love if they were able to replace Comcast cable for me, where I could watch AMC on it, and then I wouldn't have to pay $100 for cable every month.
That would
That
be good.
awesome. I would do the same thing.
Well, the only reason I even have like cable TV at this point is because like I watch the Flyers on it. So if they could find a way to provide me with NHL content over Xbox Live, I would drop Verizon in a second. Not as my ISP, but as my TV provider. So what else we got here? COD Black Ops. There was a multiplayer event.
Like a press event, yeah, yesterday, and Twitter was going crazy about it.
So what was all going on at that thing we were not invited to?
Why aren't we there?
They showed off a bunch of new modes. Like the biggest one is wager mode, where you could bet experience. There's like 4 different maps, I think, where you could bet experience. And so basically, if you're really good at the game, you can say, "Hey, I'm going to get in the top 3, bet whatever experience you have, and basically level up faster or lose your experience." That sounds interesting. Did you see any of this, Tony?
Oh yeah, I watched. I actually watched the whole trailer twice. It looks great. I mean, they have specific modes designed for the wager. The one that looked most intriguing to me was one bullet mode.
Mm-hmm.
So they give everybody one bullet, and if you kill someone with your bullet, you get another bullet. But if you lose, if you fire your bullet and miss, then all you have is your melee attack. So it showed people like in swirling melees or just trying to angle themselves so they could get the one shot off and get their one kill with their one bullet. Looked pretty cool.
So it would really like if you were to take a long shot, you would really be taking a risk there. Like,
oh yeah, if you miss, you're in trouble. Like if you've used your bullet and the other guy has one.
is it like one hit kill? Like if you hit them with your bullet, do they die or?
It looked like it was one hit kill.
Okay.
I'm not certain that it is, but it definitely all of the shots that they showed that were hits were kills. So
there's also a mode where everyone starts with the same random weapon, and every time you kill someone, you get a better weapon. And the first person to get to the top weapon is the winner. If you get knifed, you go down one weapon.
Nice.
It seems like they're just like injecting some originality, some new ideas into it, you know?
Yeah, especially since that series, like starting with Call of Duty 4 has really been the same multiplayer for the past like 3 games now. So it's kind of cool that they're trying something different.
Yeah, it looks like they have some cool new modes. It definitely looks like they've changed things up quite a bit.
Kind of makes me sad though, because it feels like it's stealing some of Halo's thunder. It feels like everyone's just like, fuck Halo, Call of Duty. Yes, Call of Duty.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people kind of like. I mean, I was reading the IGN blogs. I think it was today or yesterday, and somebody was like, "Oh, Call of Duty or Halo? Like, which one are you gonna get?" And like people were like, "I'm gonna get Black Ops." Like, really? Like, and this is the last like Halo game by the Halo team. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, Call of Duty is a fun game, but it's highly unbalanced. Like, Halo is not unbalanced. Like, it's a game that, like, I mean, a lot of people are, oh, if you play Halo, you have no skill. Like, that's bullshit. Like, if you get good at Halo, you are good at Halo. Like,
and everyone starts evenly in Halo. You have the same weapons. You don't have different perks. Like, there is skill to it too.
So if you're good at that game, you're actually good at that game. Whereas, like, I can jump on, Modern Warfare 2 and end up with, like, people that have been playing it way more than me, and they prestige, like, 6 times over or whatever, and they have all the best weapons, and I'm, like, still on level 55 or something. So, it's like this is not fair, but, I mean, Halo always seems to have a decent matchmaking system where they pit you with, people that are on par with you skill-wise, and I never feel like it's unfair. And if I win, I actually feel like I did good there. It wasn't just luck.
They've actually added the matchmaking to both Firefight and the campaign too, so you're gonna have people to play with everywhere.
Yeah, that'll be great. So that was the one big complaint with Firefight, was you kind of had to set up, Firefight games offline, and then just like, invite them in that way. So
yeah, and I love that mode, so it's gonna be really awesome.
Yeah.
The one thing I hope they fixed though was that if you were in a game of Firefight and somebody had to leave, you were done. Like, that ended the game. One person couldn't quit. You had to stop.
Oh, really? Like,
yeah.
I never noticed that.
So I hope they fix that. If they somehow let you, like, drop one or get somebody else in, I don't know how they would fix that, but that was definitely an issue. I hope they took care of that.
Well, I mean, you can drop out of, like, a multiplayer game without it killing, so they should be able to figure that out.
Right.
It's like I've been on teams in Halo where we're just getting our ass kicked, and all the rest of my team quits.
Like, that problem so much in Halo is Battlefield.
Oh, really? You've run into that in Battlefield where
there's no penalty in Battlefield for, like, jumping out. Like, it doesn't affect your stats or experience. They don't take away points. In Halo, they do.
Yeah, Halo, you lose points. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Halo. It's 11 days away now.
I'm counting down.
I believe that's what the countdown clock says at my work. The other thing though that, like, cracks me up is, like, everyone going into this Call of Duty is like, oh, Treyarch, they suck. And I'm like, they get one little multiplayer demo and they're all over their dick. Like, oh yeah, this is this is Treyarch's game. And, they took over the series. They're gonna be great now. It's like, dude, you played a couple levels in a multiplayer, like, a match, like.
Right, and did you play World at War, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good game. There was nothing wrong with
multiplayer.
Yeah,
I didn't like the campaign so much. I thought the campaign was kind of shitty, but the multiplayer I loved. That's what got me into Halo, actually. Like, I didn't play multiplayer on 4 for some reason, and then I started playing World at War. I'm like, damn, this is addictive.
Yeah, it's like that. I really like the older weapons too that you can get in World at War.
The thing is, though, go back and play World at War, you won't be able to play it. You'll be like, oh my god, this is terrible.
I'm sure. But that's how it is with, like, so many games, though. Like, I don't think you can go back and play Call of Duty 2 at this point.
Oh, no.
No. The infinite respawns would kill you in the campaign.
Yeah. So, Call of Duty Black Ops looks good, but I think we're all looking way more into Halo than...
Halo's 2 weeks away. I'm not looking away.
Yeah,
especially since that's when I get my Xbox again.
It's like I'm taking off the 14th.
I'm taking it off too.
I will be at there at midnight waiting.
Yeah, I'm hoping my store has a midnight launch. It's brand new, so
I'm gonna bring some. I'm I'm gonna bring some copies of the game to the store down the street for like a midnight there with that store, just because I want the game at midnight. Oh man, I'm gonna try to get 14th and 15th off. I'm really excited about Halo.
Actually, I'm taking the 15th off, but that's for other reasons other than Halo. But we'll hopefully get some playtime in. So
Absolutely.
We'll definitely be online. All right, Tony, you want to explain this PS Move stuff?
So, I believe it was yesterday actually it might have been midnight last night. The press embargo on the Move reviews ended, so we've been seeing a few things pop up online. It seems like the initial consensus is that the hardware is really good, like it works really well. True one-to-one motion as opposed to the Wii, which fakes it. But the software has been getting pretty mixed reviews. Like some people really like it and some really don't. So it's been a little all over the place. I know IGN, it might have been their setup, but they gave poor reviews to everything. There was a lot of hate going on there, but some of the other sites really enjoyed some of the offerings. So I don't know. It's up and down. Who knows how good it will actually be? Most of the stuff seemed really tech demo-ish, though. There weren't any, I want to say, real games.
Yeah, when I played it at PAX East, that's what everything there seemed like, was just really like tech demo-y. Even though they said, "Oh, these are coming out. These games are coming." It's like it just seemed really off. Like I don't want to pay you $50, $60 for this experience. Any interest in Move?
I would love to see how it works for. I know it's coming out for Ruse, and they will have support for Heavy Rain. So, I mean, if I were to take a jump on one of these new systems, I think Move would be the one I would pick. I don't know. It's going to need more software support first, though. I'm not spending $100 on something if there's only one or two games for it. Like there's got to be something else.
You could get Wii Sports HD.
Ooh.
Way to sell it, Jeff.
my basement flooded 4 weeks ago, and my Wii Sports disc was lost. I was not sad. I did not weep over it.
Jeff, any interest in Move for you?
Not really. I mean, it is it's basically proven technology, right? But I mean, I have more interest in Kinect. And I'm not going to buy Kinect. I just am more interested in the hardware.
Yeah, I'm going to be skipping Move. I'd rather get games at this point than some new hardware. I'm just not interested in any of the software that's coming out for it right now.
Yeah, I think they might have screwed themselves with their release windows. Because getting into the fall with all the games coming out, a lot of people are going to be making the same decision you just did, which is that, well, I could have Move and a crappy game, or I could have 4 games.
Right. It's like I think
has the same problem.
Except Kinect's even worse.
Yeah.
What's the date on Kinect?
It's November.
4th.
So it's early November. Yeah,
It's even worse. Yeah, the date is even worse.
it's gonna be rough for these guys. I think Kinect will probably sell better, which I wouldn't have said before, but just hearing more and more people say that they're interested more in Kinect than the Move.
Sony spent a lot of time this week lowering expectations for their sales too. They're like, it might take some time. We're going with word of mouth on this one, and once people try it, they'll like it.
Why didn't they wait? Like, I guess they felt they needed to rush this out the door before Kinect got out there.
Right.
I feel they might have been better off waiting until like maybe March next year.
It was funny because at E3 it seemed like they had so much software ready to go. Like they were about to jump out the door and there'd be all this great games to play, and there doesn't seem to be anything at this point.
It's going to be an interesting experiment. One I'm not going to be partaking in unless you send me one. But...
Hey guys, we'll review it for free.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get anybody at Sony to get back to us at all, so don't hold our breath on that one. So next up, we got a big surprise. LA Noire was delayed.
Also, the sun rose in the east.
Yeah. Yeah, that game's been in development for quite some time now. I think it's like 4 or 5 years at this point.
I think they announced it in 2006.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. Looks cool, but I'm beginning to think we're never going to play that game.
There was a big point made by, again, I'm citing Michael Packer too much, but he said that Take-Two's leadership with their games has been all over the place, and that they've just experienced an inordinate number of delays with everything. And of course, this is just the latest in a string. I mean, Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto, all their games have been pushed way back. And I mean, it's become an expectation at this point.
I've also heard rumors that they are very their treatment of their employees is pretty abysmal.
Weren't they the ones who got sued by their wives?
Mm-hmm.
Like the wives of the employees?
I think that was the Red Dead team. And then you know what? And then after Red Dead was a hit, they laid off half their staff. It's just they're cutthroat, big corporation. Makes
so much sense. Like, you make one of the best-selling games of the year. Oh, you're fired.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. We'll see you.
Thanks for the dough.
Now, Red Dead was what, Rockstar San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Do we know who's making LA Noire? Is that a Rockstar team or?
It is a Rockstar team. I don't remember which one.
Yeah, I don't expect anything that comes from Rockstar to come out on time, so I don't know why they keep reporting on it.
That's just it. Just don't announce any dates. Like, when the game is 6 weeks out, let us know.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got something. Like, they could continue to show us like screenshots and stuff, but don't kind of be like, oh, this game is coming out in 2010 or 2011. Just, keep showing us, keep our interest up, but don't tell us when it's coming. Kind of how like Blizzard handled StarCraft, like.
Right.
It's kind of how Nintendo kind of handles their stuff. Like, they don't show much at all, anyways. But they'll be like, yeah, it's coming, maybe this holiday, probably not. They don't ever tell you, we're not ready to announce yet.
Yeah, and then you're really excited when it does come out, though. Like, hey, that's awesome. I don't know. As I said, it looks cool. Hoping maybe someday we'll get to play it, but I'm, once again, not holding my breath on that. So, all right, the last piece of news looks like we got is Medal of Honor is being banned on military bases.
GameStop cracking down.
Yeah, now was that like handed down from like military command, or is that just GameStop like bowing to some?
It's tough to tell who actually made the decision, but I feel like it's GameStop yielding to pressure from the U.S. military. It seemed as though, I mean, why would they have all of this stuff up in GameStops on military bases to begin with if this was how they actually felt? So I feel like they're definitely yielding to some sort of pressure, some sort of outside force. I don't know. I'm not sure how the average soldier feels about this, but I think there's a lot of political weight to some of these objections as opposed to actual military service personnel. I forget which site it was. It might have been, I want to say Giant Bomb. Had interviews up with like 9 different soldiers who were all in favor of having the game out. And this wasn't the team that helped actually create the game. It was just average soldiers who had been to Afghanistan and were veterans. But I feel like there's a lot of objection to the game, and they're just finally saying, you know what, better off just stand out of the fire at this point.
It's like, I kind of wonder why EA just didn't tell DICE and whoever the other team working with this is like, we get it. Like, actually, it would be DICE because it's the multiplayer aspect that's specifically causing the controversy here. Like, instead of calling them the actual Taliban, just call them insurgents.
Right.
Like, and you probably could have completely wiped out most of this controversy.
I don't know. I'm so against doing that, though. I'm so against whitewashing things, and I think it does no service to the medium. Like, if you want games to be taken seriously, let's have adult material in them, and let's not. I understand it's just like a multiplayer game and you're just shooting people in the head and shit, but I don't know. I'm so against the whole idea of banning it or watering it down or calling it something else. I think it's good that there's a game where you're gonna have Taliban in it.
I mean, like I understand where the people that are protesting it are coming from. Well, at least the ones that I've seen, like it's a couple parents of people who've had their kids killed over there, and I could see how they wouldn't think it's a game to have this sort of thing going down. But the way I saw it, and Giant Bomb put up a quick look of the multiplayer demo when it first came out, the multiplayer beta when it first came out, and like Taliban is such a small aspect. Like it's just listed in small print on there though. It's not even like it's like when you play Call of Duty, like it's like you have like the two sides and they tell you it's like Rangers versus like the Spetsnaz or whatever.
Right.
Like that's not what they're showing. Like I think they're really just showing it's like U.S. versus insurgents, and then like on the other, like it's down on the character selection screen where it actually says Taliban.
It's kind of weird too, because like I don't know if technically we're even fighting the Taliban, but Al Qaeda, which is a lot of Taliban fighters, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, I think in the initial invasion we fought the Taliban. That was who.
We were taking them out of power, but it's not technically the Taliban that attacked us, even though it's a lot of Taliban.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's just like they're the assholes over there, and a lot of the assholes gravitate towards them.
Right.
What's completely absurd about this whole thing is that, I mean, if you go back and watch Rambo 3, you see that we helped put the Taliban in power.
In power, right.
I mean, granted, like maybe Rambo 3 is not the best for historical accuracy.
What's the movie with Tom Hanks? The Tom Hanks movie, where he plays the politician funneling money into Afghanistan.
I don't know.
It's gone from my head. It was Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts. Damn it. Oh well. Anyhow.
Really? I'm drawing a blank, but
yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, and there was a book. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Like we are so responsible for putting them in that position to begin with.
Well, it was convenient at the time.
Right. Well, I mean, we armed Saddam Hussein too. Look how great that worked out.
Yeah.
Charlie Wilson's War.
There you go.
There you go.
It's the power of IMDb.
You know what, though? These parents with their kids that died in Iraq, I don't feel sorry for them one fucking bit. I'm sorry to sound harsh, but it's like, you know what? Maybe if we didn't cover everything up all the time, maybe your kids wouldn't have not gone there. And you look at, they talk to the people that went there. People, the real soldiers, they don't want like what they're doing to be silenced or that the material to be silenced. They want it. They want it out there.
Yeah, that was the thing that struck me. Some of them said that they were actually in favor of having it in there so that people would continue to notice that people were fighting and dying over there.
I would. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you want to know that my guys are still out there.
Hey, look how good it did. Look how good it did them with Vietnam. Not talking about it. Look at what happened to the veterans of that war.
Right.
Just
pretended like they didn't exist. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird subject. It's a weird issue, really. And I mean, it's interesting that at least this game is coming out because like 6 Days in Fallujah got shit canned, basically because of this same thing. So,
who was publishing that? Do you remember?
6 Days in Fallujah.
Yeah,
was going to be Konami.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But that team is now working on Breach. So I don't think we're ever actually going to see 6 Days in Fallujah. That was an interesting concept for a game. So, but the same argument there, where it's like it's not a game. Okay.
I think that was also probably more of a business decision. It probably wasn't that good.
Yeah.
If it was good enough, they'd stick behind it and release it.
Yeah, instead of being like, well, we're gonna, put our neck out on the line for something that maybe isn't so good. Anyway, well, that's about it for news. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about some game pitches that we might have. I know that Jeff has one that he's been sitting on for a while.
No one will listen to. I pitched it to David Jaffe, too. I swear to God.
Oh, we'll get that story when we get back. All right, we are back. Our topic of the week is, kind of games that we want made, or games that we came up with ideas for and we'd want made. We also threw the option, like the suggestion out to you guys to, give us your game pitches, and we got some interesting, to say the least, responses back. And, we'll be going over them, and we're going to pick one of you guys out and shoot you off a copy of Deadly Premonition, and maybe somebody will steal your idea and make it into a game.
And you will make no money, so
Exactly.
enjoy.
'Cause when we say steal your idea, like that's actually what's going to happen. Somebody's just going to take it and make a game for it. But Jeff, I have a feeling that you have a game that you don't care if they steal it from you. You just want it made. So.
Exactly. I've been trying to get the ball rolling on this game. It seems like such an obvious idea. The way I came up with it is, I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but there's like a Counter-Strike map that was modded to be like the Haunted Mansion in Disney World, and it was like 100% recreation of it almost. Have you guys ever seen that?
I haven't. That sounds
I
pretty
have not.
cool.
And it's just like, it like clicked in my head, like, why haven't they made a game where you could go to Disney World and it's exactly like Disney World? Because I would buy that in a heartbeat, because it's expensive to go to Disney World, but I love it, so it could be Disney World in my house. And I don't know, I guess like the idea for the game is basically like an Animal Crossing, but like on a next-gen system, where you get to create your own little avatar and then go hang out in the park and hang out with friends and shit and go on rides and play little mini games and shit. Like, I had a real detailed write-up of this on my blog like a while ago, but like you could have like mini games, like as you're going through maybe the Haunted Mansion, you have to shoot ghosts and stuff. I don't know, like stupid shit. There's a few like mini games I thought of. I'm like, that would be really fun, but it's been a while since I've looked back at that old post. I don't know. What about you guys? Would you buy that?
I can see myself playing a game like that. I don't know if I would buy it.
Like my idea was, go ahead.
How would you? I guess I would have questions first. Like, how would you simulate rides? Like, what would that sort of gameplay be like?
Well, you could either just ride the ride and just look around. Like, I was thinking of like a third-person game, but you could switch to first person if you want, and like just sit on the ride and look around. Or if you want, you could play a mini game on the ride. Like, you could. I had some good ideas too, man. I wish I could go find this. I should have probably done it before we recorded, but like games that you could play on the rides too, instead of just riding the rides. But
So you wouldn't just get on like a roller coaster and like, ride the roller coaster, and then get off and go do something else. There'd be something else to do while you're on the roller coaster.
You could do one or the other. You could just ride it if you want, or select mini game. Like, because to me, like, I don't know if you guys ever played Thrillville, but I would build a coaster on that and just ride it, just for fun. But my whole idea was that you could go anywhere, like, and it was laid out really like Disney World. Like, you could take the monorail to the Polynesian resort, and you could have a room there and stay there, and every little detail, like lots of attention to detail, like almost like I remember the way I pitched it was like sort of like GTA, like running on that engine with the amount of detail that Rockstar could put into a game, but no objective really, except maybe make money or something like that, something simmy.
Do you have to take like the shuttle over to the park?
Yeah, but you could sit there and watch the whole ride or hit skip, just like a taxi on GTA.
It's awesome.
And with a focus on online and hanging out with your friends, I think it would be. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm all over this game. I actually did I started I don't. Do you guys ever watch David Jaffe, the guy that made?
He made
Twisted Metal?
War. He's making Twisted Metal, yeah, and he did
so
the first
weird.
God of War, right?
Yeah,
Right.
like I know him. I know him more as like a blogger than a game designer. I haven't really played any of his games, but he's just really fun to listen to. And he's a huge Disney fan, so I was like sending him messages on YouTube. I'm like, dude, just look at my idea. I know you probably don't take like ideas like this, but I don't care. Steal it. I don't give a fuck. I want to play the game. Of course, he probably just deleted it, but I was like dead serious for a while. I'm like, why? In Disney, they realized like the draw to like their franchises. I mean, look what they're doing with Epic Mickey. I just don't get why they haven't thought of this, or maybe they thought of it and they're like, no, that's retarded. But I really want it.
I just have this vision in my mind of riding a roller coaster with like a quick time event where if you fail, your character just goes flying off the roller coaster. Gets sliced in half by some mechanical failure.
Like, so would there be like a story to the game, or like would you have missions to do?
I think at first I had the idea that it would be like you were trying to work your way through the ranks, like you get hired as an employee and try to work your way up to owner of Disney World. But like, I don't know. I think like it could work if it's just kind of like Animal Crossing, where it's just like, I don't know, go have fun, or like something like that, like a playground game, like a toy box game, like Toy Story, where it's just like go have fun in this environment that we replicated.
Somebody make Jeff his game.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
Get on that.
And then I'll want my checks. I'm like, how come I'm not getting paid? It's well documented that this is my idea.
And then they'll pull up this podcast where you admit to telling David Jaffe, just steal my idea.
Steal it.
I don't care.
That was my plan. I was hoping he'd steal it and then I'd sue his ass.
It's an interesting idea, that's for sure. I would probably play it.
Hey, it's from the heart.
And
Yeah,
that's
bitches!
Well, I'm gonna read off our first submitted game here. It comes in from Beesball. He wants to see a hybrid of Gran Turismo and Pokemon. It's like a Pokemon overworld. You have collection, leveling, story, badges. It's, different trainers that you defeat by racing them. The masters could be different types of cars, so like 50s cars, rally cars, and then it would use like the realistic physics engine of GT for when you race in battle. And this would also work with doing multiple trainers in the battle. And he evidently has some ideas for story where you'd have Jay Leno as the anti-hero, where he goes around stepping on everyone as he climbs the ladder of late night, not caring who he hurts, while simultaneously expanding his car collection and challenging producers and execs for better time slots. So forth by racing it out on the track. I'm not so sure that storyline works as a game, but it's, the concept isn't terrible. It's kind of like an RPG racing game.
I was going to say that I like the concept because have you guys ever played Mario Golf Advanced Tour? It's kind of like that. There was like an overworld and you got to level up and shit.
And then you go and you would like take on like the better golfers, I guess. And
yeah, you'd like move your way up, but like in between, you could walk around. It was basically like a country club, and you could go to the pro shop and buy stuff, or go, level up certain stats, talk to people.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty decent idea. I would definitely play something like that.
I would if it was like not sim racing, because I hate sim racing.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not a racing fan either. So
would you guys prefer it more if it was like Mario Kart mixed with Pokemon?
I think that would be a great evolution of the Mario Kart series. Like the games have all been really similar, so like to take it to another level, that would be kind of cool. Like level your kart up.
Yep.
Like heat-seeking turtle shells and that kind of thing.
So, all right, we'll keep Bees' idea in mind here. That was our first entry. So, Tony, what do you got as an idea over there?
I guess my first idea would be a tank commander game. I feel like there haven't been very many recent games on consoles where you're in command of a tank. There have been some moments in like Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3 where there was some tank simulation, but it sucked ass. So I would like a game that was solely devoted to tanks and like tank warfare. I think that would be incredible.
You just made me think of another game I want. I'll save it. I'll say it. I guess Battle Tanks on
For
Xbox
it.
Live.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So would this be a like ultra sim tank game?
Yeah, I think you could go ultra sim with it. I don't know. It would depend on how far you wanted to take it. Like, I could see you like being in command of like a tank platoon and having to order your other tanks around, kind of like Mech Warrior.
Okay.
Except with a more like realistic modern warfare setting. I think you could take that really really far and do some really cool stuff with it.
All right.
I think that sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's my type of game, but I'm sure somebody would be into that. Actually, the next user submitted one that we got. I don't know if I didn't send you guys this one, but it's from Andy, and he wants a submarine sim game. Basically, where you would be in the sub, and it would be like a sub combat game.
I
Where
think this game already exists.
yeah, I don't know what it's called though.
Silent Hunter.
Is that what it is?
I think Silent Hunter 3 came out last year or the year before. It's a
The-
PC game.
He wants like an ultra realistic. There's Silent Hunter 5. I'm looking at Google right now. But he wants like an ultra realistic sub game where, where you could spend hours just like hunting the other subs. That kind of sounds boring as shit to me, though.
I'm trying to imagine how that would work, because like usually you can't see what you're fighting in the sub, right? I mean, I don't know, but is it like guessing and shit?
Well,
Yeah,
you have like sonar and shit.
You'd have to like ping it, and I don't know. I just want like a Hunt for Red October game. That's what I want. Yeah, that game sounds boring as shit, Andy. Sorry.
I actually played the original Silent Hunter. It was out for NES. You had to use 2 controllers to play it. You couldn't play it with 1 controller because there weren't enough buttons.
Well, you wouldn't even be able to play like if you want an actual sub sim game, like you would need more than one person. Like one person
Right.
can't control a sub. Like you would need multiple people. So it would have to be like a multiplayer game. Yeah, it would just have to be a bunch of boring people who want to like sit around and do nothing for hours on end. Like, it just sounds terrible.
Don't cry, Andy. He doesn't mean you.
Your game idea is terrible.
Hey, for super geeks, they might enjoy it. Your ham radio operators out there and shit, they might get a kick out of it.
All right, well, so yeah, that game bores the shit out of me. But I'm sure that my idea here is going to bore the shit out of somebody. I don't know if you guys ever played a game called Freelancer. It was a PC game. It was a space, you're basically a space pilot game. I want a game like that where you take basically like you'd be like a Han Solo type character or a smuggler, or you could do like legal shit to, I guess, take on like real cargo. But on top of like the space stuff where you're flying and dropping off cargo and running from I want like a ground portion too, kind of like Mass Effect. Where there's like this RPG type element where you're doing stuff on the ground, and basically it'd be like Han Solo the simulator. But before
That could be cool.
before he met Luke, like before he like joined up with the Alliance and stopped doing really cool shit.
Would there be like space combat in it though?
Yeah,
like,
definitely. And you could like buy new ships, or like upgrade your ship, and or you can maybe even get to the point where you are powerful enough that you are like running a fleet of ships, kind of like in Homeworld. I'm sure it would bore the hell out of a lot of people, but I would play that.
Well, I hear Factor 5 has nothing to do right now.
Nothing at all. Yes, that would be my first one. All right, so our next user one comes from Secret Tunnel, who evidently has a ton of game ideas, but he, for some reason, thinks that he can make his other one, so he gave us this one where he wouldn't be able to make it. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. It's evidently a gameplay mix of Guitar Hero and Heavy Rain. The game name is called Hero. So, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not reading your 5-page description up there, Secret Tunnel. The game would be extremely over the top with a ton of wargame cliches, and you play it with a guitar controller, and evidently there's like people fighting, and there's cyborgs and robots, and I'm sorry, this pitch is
It's terrible.
Yeah, no.
I'm just picturing Brutal Legend, except using an actual guitar and in the future.
It's like Terminator with a guitar controller.
But it plays like Heavy Rain. Is that?
It's like, how would that work?
It's like the
So
only
you can
way
use the guitar to like smash the enemies. I mean,
You would need a guitar that has like motion control, so it would have to be like you'd have to play it on the Wii. Because
so
like
you strap your Wiimote to your guitar.
well, so the guitar controllers for the Wii, like the controller actually goes in the body of the guitar. So that's where they get like when you do the star power, you like raise up the guitar. So that, yeah. So you wanna make a Wii game? It sounds like. Let's see this part here. Figure starts running towards the battlefield. As we get a better glimpse at it, we see that it is someone wearing a sleek, full-body metallic suit, possibly a cyborg or robot. The figure pulls an electric guitar from his back and leaps into one of the trenches. The soldiers fire at him, but he starts shredding on the guitar. The bullets stop in midair in front of the figure. A crazy rock song is playing as this happens. This is batshit insane.
This is what Japanese person made this game. I just want to know.
They didn't, but I'm sure that somebody could sell it to that. Who's making that Vanquish game?
Platinum Games, they're on it.
Platinum
they would do it. Yeah.
Secret Tunnel, take a little trip and go talk to Platinum Games. I'm sure that they can get this insanity that you have proposed here made. All right, Jeff.
If they pass, you can go to Suda 51.
He makes some batshit insane games too.
Yeah. Bad games too, I might add, but
Yeah.
that's another topic.
All right, Jeff. You said you had another one.
One sequel I want to see made besides I really want a BattleTakes game on Xbox Live. I think that would be cool. But one sequel I really want, and I sort of get why they haven't done it, but at the same time, like it seems so obvious, is Conquer 2. Like Conquer's Bad Fur Day 2. I think that would be really. I love that game, so I would love to see a sequel. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that is that a licensing thing or.
No, it can't be. I think it's just like rare. One, they've been gutted, and two, like
Right.
they're making Kinect games, and Microsoft isn't utilizing them right. Although I'll admit I like Viva Pinata, but I would love to see a Conquer sequel. That game was really good.
I never played the first one, so
Get out of here! You play it on Xbox,
I didn't.
dude?
Is it available on Xbox?
There's Xbox One version of it. You can play it on 360. Get it, man. Are you crazy? That's a great game.
All right, I'll give it a go.
I can't believe you missed that.
I never played that one.
You're making me sad here, Chris.
Sorry. I will
You
try.
need a
it.
tissue.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
your
a little
tissue.
sad. Yeah.
Just tab your eyes there, Jeff. Okay. So yeah, I never played that. And Jeff wants it made, so Rare, get on that. Make a game that
I'm not the only one, I'm sure.
I would play it.
It's a pretty big franchise. Like I knew what you were talking about. I've never played it, so I'm sure there are other people out there that want it. So
It's like, think of a really good like 64 platformer or I don't know if you played Banjo-Kazooie, think of something like that, but with shooter stuff in it and movie parodies. It's so awesome, man.
Now I kind of want to play this. It's like that actually kind of sounds fun.
It's really good. Get the Xbox version. It's awesome.
All right, well, Hustling on Radio did not give us much of a pitch. He just said he wants a grand battle royale game. I'm guessing he's referring to the IGN blog by Virgin Wolf, where he had like the character battle royale type thing. So basically, it would be a fighting game with all the characters from all these different series. It's an interesting concept that'll never get made, and it's a shitty game pitch, Dave. I'm sorry. Like, one sentence does not really explain your game. So let's go on to the Happy Cog. He has Left 4 Dead, the Amish edition. Pretty sure that he is confused on what the Amish are, though. He says he knows it probably doesn't count since he's just taking a new riff on an existing idea. But can you imagine the euphoria of taking on the Horde with a blunderbuss? I can, but that's not the Amish. It's like that's more like
that's the Pilgrim.
Yeah, that's Left 4 Dead. Like
Left 4 Dead, the John Smith edition.
It's like Left 4 Dead, Plymouth Rock. Mayflower.
That would be cool, actually. You get witches and shit.
Just like go all batshit insane. Like you play as like a group of pilgrims, but you'd also fight like the Salem witches, and you throw werewolves in there and Indians, zombie.
I kind of like this idea. I think we should do it.
Yeah, I'm all over this. So we're just gonna change your idea.
Make our own.
And I mean, it's an interesting idea. We're gonna take it from the blunderbuss and just go with like put it in the right time frame. Because Left 4 Dead Amish people, that's not gonna work.
You're not gonna churn them to death.
No. He said if that doesn't work, which it does on a certain level, your idea does work. He wants to know about an action RPG where your party consists of the 12 apostles. He doesn't really give us much of an explanation of that. But why don't you give us a little more detail on that? Because I'm interested in that game as well. All right.
Raise the Dead, because they would kind of go hand in hand at that point.
Tony, you said you had a couple more ideas?
Oh yeah. I would really like to see a Viking game, like one where you could control a Viking in battle and like sacking like towns and shit from a first-person perspective. I think that would be awesome.
You could get that for like $8. It's called Viking Battle for Arsgard.
No, that's like a real like. Those are like real battles, though. I'm talking like like hacking like people to death. Like throwing people off of city walls yourself and that kind of thing.
You just want like God of War, but you're playing as a Viking?
Yes, that would be awesome.
And instead of like killing...
Without all the god stuff, like I want to kill like actual people.
So you don't want to like go after like Odin? Like
No.
You just want, we'll throw you in a town. It's like, here, you are this Viking and you're here to rape and pillage.
Well, it would be cool to like you're in your little like Viking boat with like the dragon on the prow and like just kind of land on the beach and like kill the enemy army and then attack the town. It'd be awesome.
I could see that being enjoyable. Is there going to be naked women in it?
I think there would have to be, right?
I think if you're going to do a Viking game properly, yeah.
Rated M for pussy pillaging.
Wow. All right. Our next user submission comes from Mr. Beatdown. his game idea is basically MotorStorm, but with Connectimals roaming the track. And you get points for hitting them. Bonus points if you hit Skittles. I kind of like this idea a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in favor.
It's like the crazy, insane like arcade racing and MotorStorm mixed with like killing like cute little creatures. So like blood splatter everywhere. It sounds awesome.
You got the little carcasses sitting by the road.
Yes. It's kind of like that. Was that a Blur that did that commercial? Where they had like the really cute like kart racer people, and then like they come up to the fence, and the badass ones.
Like on the other side of the fence, it's all dark and it's like a city night. And
Yeah,
it looks like Blur.
Yeah, that's I could see maybe an art style like that for this. It's like you have like these like cute little animals like running across the street, and then these crazy people with dune buggies just running them over.
It's like the reverse. It's reverse Frogger. That's what it is.
It's like you control the car this time. All right.
Reverse Frogger.
No, it is not a sex position.
Oh, Jesus. And I'm going right into Talk to Samson's submission here. He wants
a good segue.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking perfect because he wants a game where you have sex using Kinect motion controls. His title for this is Maximum Pain Heavy Rain Edition. The narrative consists of...
Yeah, read his...
Yeah, the narrative will consist of the main character striving to create love via his pelvic thrusts. All sorts of women are involved, but only those who are top heavy. Big ass, too. Plus, golden showers. Yeah, that's what he wants. Oh, Jesus. And then it's, as I said, Maximum Pain Heavy Rain Edition. That's the most foul thing I think I've heard today.
I don't think we could get his Game Pass censors. I really
No.
don't. Somebody would blow up whatever building it was being made in.
He wants to make a Kinect game, so like Microsoft doesn't allow AO games on their system. That's a huge barrier to overtake there.
It'd be cool if it came with a peripheral.
It would have to.
What, like a fleshlight?
You got your
Sort
little
of.
blow-up doll or something with like sensory positions.
Yeah, Nate, I think you're gonna have to go and make this on your own without the Xbox. Maybe
Contact the people who made Bone Town. They'll help you out.
Yeah, maybe get on board with them, and they can like maybe get some sort of Kinect device for the PC, where you could do that, you know, in your office or something. That's just, God, that's creepy.
I'd buy it. I'll be honest.
There's a market for something like that. Evidently, Jeff is part of that market.
There's Jeff and the guy trying to sit next to him in the movie theater.
That's all you have to do, dude. Just look over and go, want to play Maximum Pain Heavy Rain Edition? Bet that guy gets up and moves. All right, Tony, why don't you give us your last one?
All right, my last idea was I kind of threw this out when we were talking about this before as a joke, but Civil War Surgeon. I really think this could be interesting if you put like move support in with it. So you've got like somebody like sawing off arms and like hacking through flesh and like pulling out bullets in the Civil War battle. I think that would make, if nothing else, an interesting mini game.
Yeah,
Probably be pretty disgusting to see like that kind of thing in HD, but you know,
Could you
could be
play it
fun.
like Operation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are games like that on the DS already, where you do like operations, but this would just be like a Civil War version of that, and of course you'd have like the Civil War limitations.
It's like rusty forceps and
Right.
Like, you saved the guy, but he died of some disease days later.
right.
it's
But
like,
it doesn't matter because your count goes up by 1 for hacking off his arm.
it's like I did him good. Get me the axe. Need to amputate? No, you don't need to amputate my leg. It's just a flesh wound. Yeah, it's that's a weird time period. Like, there's not a lot of games that feature that time period, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, and all the ones that have are really bad. Like there was some History Channel game that did like secret missions in the Civil War and that kind of thing. But
Yeah, I heard about that History Channel Civil War game. Evidently, it like was something like the Call of Duty engine.
You probably heard that from me because I played it. when I said
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Didn't you say like you're just tossing grenades and shit? And
No, I just remembered the controls are like Call of Duty, so and it felt
Okay.
like the Call of Duty engine, but like it was terrible. I mean, bad game.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like I kind of want like an actual game that's good set in that time period, but
I think it would have to be, you know what I'm looking for? Maybe not exactly that time period, but more like French Revolution era would be the next Assassin's Creed game. I think
Yeah.
a game like that could work.
It can't
A
be a
game that
first-person
tries to
shooter.
like right? No, it can't be. I mean, how do you do a first-person shooter when you can fire one bullet and then take the next 30 seconds to reload?
well, and
It
like wasn't it the way they did the wars? Is they just would go line up in a line, and, like
Shoot.
yeah, it's
right
like
now, what fun is that?
all right, we're gonna spread out about 10 feet apart, and everybody fire.
No, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be spending all day trying to run to cover so you could like put another ball in. Yeah, but definitely Assassin's Creed and that type of era could work. So you're gonna play as an assassin, so it's more of a stealth-based type game, and
Right.
that could be fun. So, all right, Jeff, you said you had another one.
Kind of. It's kind of pie in the sky shit. Like, if the Kinect technology just continues to improve over the years, I'd like to see something like a cop drama or a courtroom drama where you get to like interrogate people, or like interrogate a witness or a suspect or something like that.
Okay.
Kind of like Heavy Rain,
That
but
could be cool.
really interactive, where you're really talking with characters and they understand what you're saying. I don't know. I think that would be very interesting.
So take the idea of like what was that little like pedophile game that Peter
Oh
Molyneux?
yeah, Milo.
Yeah, so like take the technology from that, but just make something.
Apply it to like a cop or courtroom drama.
Yeah, that could be fun. Like what's that DS game? The
Ace Attorney or
Ace- yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
but like just make it more realistic, like Law and Order-ish type way. That could be
And
cool.
with the voice recognition technology and the motion recognition and stuff like that. I mean, imagine if that stuff really worked as well as you dream it would. It would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
So yeah, I have a good idea.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, no, I love that idea.
Not that we didn't think your other idea was good too, but this one definitely seems more marketable.
Yeah,
If it worked, it would be.
I think
huge.
this idea is a day one buy. Your other idea
So
was
you
a
think-
rent and then maybe buy later.
Yeah, the Disney World game is the one I like put on my GameFly queue.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
No, I mean would that Disney game have the Animal Kingdom in it too, or
It would have everything that Disney World owns in Florida. So you're talking about like probably 40 miles of land. I don't know if you would be able to fit it on a disc, but
not sure. I mean, like look at San Andreas, like that was fucking massive.
Yeah, I guess you could look at like Just Cause 2.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like where it's very detailed, and you
Right.
can even go on like like backstage areas and like the employee areas of the parks, or like just the property that they own that there's nothing developed on. Like you could go explore that and shoot stuff for fun.
So you could go like explore like the underground passageway where like the people in costumes like walk.
Yeah, if you get hired as an employee at the park, you could go down and explore those areas. Yeah.
Now, would you be able to get to like the secret, like there's like this rumor that if you are really rich, like you get invited to this like secret area at Disney? Would you be able to do that?
What? Which
You
secret
never
area
heard
is
about
this?
that? Like, let me see.
I think I know my Disney lore. I'm wondering what you're referring to.
It's like a secret Disney like club for rich people. Oh.
Maybe I'm not rich enough. I don't know. I know about I know like the Cinderella suite inside the castle, which you can rent that out actually now. You could spend a night there.
Looks like it's called Disney's Club 33.
Wow, I have no idea. No, I didn't know about that.
Secret and exclusive club.
God, I got a boner right now.
You need a $7,500 invitation fee.
Oh God.
See, that would be like one of the big awards in the game. Like, think Animal Crossing, where you're just going for like cooler shit,
So like, yeah, you would like maybe try and like pile your money up to get invited to like come and hang out with like the reanimated corpse of Walt Disney.
That would be awesome.
That does sound fantastic. All right, day one by.
See, I know I could bring you around.
All right, let's get on to our last two listener submissions, I guess. TM Jedi, I hope I said that right. He has his idea is basically, it's called Plane Hijacker, where you would play, the basic premise would be that you're a hijacker. And he wants to clarify that you don't necessarily have to be Muslim or Arab, or even for terrorist purposes. Now, if you're hijacking a plane, you're pretty much doing it for terrorist purposes.
At that point, you are a terrorist, yes,
Right.
by definition.
So, all right, so maybe we'll just scratch that part off, TM Jedi. Like, you don't
I'm
have to
hijacking a plane in the name of peace.
right. You don't have to be Muslim or Arab, but you are doing it for some sort of terrorist thing.
Even though at the end of the game, the whole goal is to build a mosque at Ground Zero.
So basically, you play as this hijacker who's trying to take over a plane, and there's a story mode, and it would involve you creating a hijacker and putting together a team to hijack a plane. Not only the first mission would just be a typical plane hijacking, but like there's untypical plane hijackings.
just your average run-of-the-mill everyday hijacking.
All right, so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But after that, missions would branch off into other things like stealing fighter jets and helicopters in midair. He says we shouldn't ask him exactly how that would work, but it would be cool. Gotta say, like that's something. Maybe hijacking Air Force One or possibly a space shuttle. And you're not doing this for terrorist purposes? Really? I'm going to take over the president's jet, but just for fun.
Just so I can fly through that loop.
I could get behind stealing the space shuttle. Like, that could be fun. The short campaign could be either co-op or single player. Other modes would include quick play, where you could just try to hijack a plane. Maybe some kind of deathmatch mode, and a save the plane mode, where you play as a passenger, a pilot, a flight attendant, or air marshal, and try to stop the hijackers. So like a class-based multiplayer, where somebody on your team gets screwed and they are the passenger with no weapon. Or the flight attendant. So basically anybody except the air marshal is fucked. I don't know. That's interesting.
It's it feels like something that should be a part of another game. I think that's
I
what
like
I
the
would go with.
idea. I like the idea of a game like maybe like a multiplayer co-op game where your goal is to like pull off this like highly orchestrated criminal activity. I like the idea of that.
Like a heist type game.
Something
Yeah.
like that, or flying a plane into a building, or
No, Jeff. No.
I don't want to bring comparisons to terrorists. I'm just saying.
Jeff and his 9/11 simulator. Jesus. All right. We probably just killed all of our fan base here.
They're all offended. Nobody's listening at this point. Sorry, guys.
If we
That's
had
my
a
ultimate
fucking
goal.
fan base. It's like, Jeff's like 4
Offend
weeks in,
everybody.
4 episodes in. I'm tired of this shit. Let's just try and make it so nobody listens, and then we don't have to do it anymore. All right, our last one comes from what's his name? Eric, 1987 or something like that. His game's called Arena. It is inspired by Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and basically it's an arena combat type game, RPG-ish. The idea I got, and I would read it to you, except it's 2 pages long, and really it's way too detailed for what we were looking for here. It's kind of like centered on Roman gladiatorial combat, except somehow you're also a mage, stealth, melee class or something like that. It's an LRPG, whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe.
It sounds an awful lot like part of Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Like there was a portion where you were fighting in the arena. You did get to roam around and talk to people and make relationships with the various classes in the arena, and then you could leave and explore the world and then come back. I mean, it's definitely he's really latched on to the Elder Scrolls thing. It's very, very similar.
So
it could definitely make a good game, but
he looks like he's taken this piece that he really liked in Oblivion, and he just wants to expand on that.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would work, but
I will say this: that portion of Oblivion, there wasn't a whole lot of room for it was extremely linear. There was a path, which, as far as Elder Scrolls games goes, was a little odd. So I will say he has expanded and fleshed it out a little, and having different classes to have allegiances with is kind of cool. And I'm sure you could have treachery and manipulating other people's matches and that kind of thing. That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're into that type of game, like Elder Scrolls 4, that type of combat, it could be fun. Not really sure that I would get into that, but
I think there's already a Game of the Year game that's like this by High Voltage Software.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Oh no,
They did a Gladiator game.
I know. No, it's nothing like this.
I kid.
I
You totally stole it from them.
That was it's Champion Legend or something. It
was called Gladiator when it was in a project. But,
right when it was originally supposed to be getting made. It's not what it released under, and yeah, that game was terrible.
Tournament of Legends.
Tournament of Legends, yes. Yeah.
Another great High Voltage Software game.
Jesus, that game was awful. That was worse than Soul Calibur 1.
That game was barely released. I think we only ever had one copy of it, and then we still have it.
I actually traded in the review copy that they sent me.
$5.
You got $4.
I don't know what I got for it. It wasn't much, but Yeah, I beat that game in 4 hours, and that was too long spent with it. So Eric, I hope your game is better than Tournament of Legends. It sounds like it is far. Like actually, your two-page pitch here, which I did not do justice to in my description, is far more detailed and in depth than anything in Tournament of Legends. Actually, that reading your pitch took longer than probably what the pitch for Tournament of Legends actually was. So, go call up High Voltage Software. Maybe you could talk them into making your game, because they need some help. That's
As long as it's like something else that's already been made, but they can make it worse.
right. Aren't they doing a Left 4 Dead type clone too? The grinder, right? Yeah.
But it's Diablo clone on Xbox. They're just terrible, man. I've lost any respect for them.
I remember, what was it, early last year, where Matt Casamassina and Mark Bozon at IGN were calling them like the saviors of the Wii. Yeah, no. Not at all.
I actually did a review of the Conduit on my blog, and I was pretty positive about it overall. Not as positive as they were, but it's just
I think they just delayed the Conduit too.
Oh.
The sequel is getting pushed.
So, all right. So, we've gone through all of our pitches. What do you guys? Which ones do you think we should dole out the game here to?
I have mine picked.
You have yours picked?
Well, who do you think? Because I am.
I'm not playing favoritism here. I think Beesball's idea is really feasible and a cool idea, like the racing RPG. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think of the ideas we got, that one is definitely at the top of the pile. As far as feasible, a game that a lot of people would enjoy, and that doesn't exist.
It's not as good as like a Disney World simulator, but I think it's a cool design.
All right, yeah. Well, all right, Beast. We'll send you a copy of Deadly Premonition. I would, if Mr. Beatdown's idea was a little more fleshed out, I think I would have gone with that. He had the Motor Storm and Connectables. But basically, we kind of fleshed it out for him, so it was an interesting premise, but I don't think there was enough detail there. And Bees is definitely it's not overwhelmingly in depth, but he gave us some ideas there, so, and it could be made.
Well, all right.
What the hell was that? All right. Edit that part out too.
We could just end on ambient noise.
Just
Like, what happened? They all died.
And it just ends. What happened there? It ends.
It's like they'll find the footage of our podcast at some point. Like, it's just us getting attacked.
Already flying planes in the building.
All right, so that's the end of this episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hit up our other podcast on vagary.tv. I think if you actually check there this weekend, there should be a lot of news from them coming out of PAX. I know we have a good contingent up there this year. I believe pretty much the entire Game Over crew is up there. And not sure if Ryan, the head of Vagary, is getting up there or not, but there's a lot going on. So, yep, check into that. And if you have questions, comments, you want to tell us how awful we are for thinking Jeff's 9/11 simulator might be amusing, Send that to perfectlysane@vagary.tv. Report us to Fox News is
We're
bad.
gonna have protesters outside of our houses.
Dude, the minute Fox News stages a protest against me, I have arrived.
All right, we'll be back next week. Maybe with a Persian, maybe not. So
He's a little flaky. We never know.
you never know with him. So all right, we'll be back next week. It's like every other episode, Fozzie's not going to be here.
That's right. It's funny because you think, considering how strange he is, he'd be here for the odd ones.